Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. It's time for Game 14 of the ESPN NFL 2K5 season with the Chicago Bears led by Michael Vick after Week 3, the big trade. And I was catching some flack in the comments from the last video. One of the guys I played Tecmo with, Joe Mitchell, wasn't too happy about the trade. He's like, what am I looking at here? But you're looking at a 9-4 Chicago Bears team headed into a game against the Houston Texans. If you look at ESPN.com, the Bears 9-4, leading in the wild card race by at least a game versus everybody. So I just got to keep continuing the win streak. There's only a few teams that have given me trouble, so it shouldn't be too hard. So off to the right here today, I am watching the Denver Nuggets and Portland Trail Blazers, so you might catch a glance or two from me there. This game is actually a good one. Tuesday, when these two teams played each other, Denver just blew them out. And the game before that was a blowout too. So this one looks to be a good one. Denver trying to close out the series. But anyways, we're playing football. We're playing ESPN NFL 2K5. So let's get into this game. And the Texans, another team that's not so good in this game. No preparation. And that will lower the ratings of the team. So far, really been enjoying this season. And here we go. So yeah, you see the ratings are low, but as I say on the other videos, my team ratings aren't actually down, so I'm not sure what that affects besides for what you see on the screen right now. Another thing, if you want to watch these live, you have to subscribe and hit the notification bell. In the past, YouTube Gaming was good about giving alerts, but YouTube Gaming is no more. As far as just for gaming, it had one fatal flaw. It didn't, when you searched games for, live streamers, it would pull from their YouTube channel of recorded videos and show the most popular ones. So essentially, it wasn't doing anything different than YouTube. You had to actually go and filter out that you wanted it to search only live games or people playing live for it to do it. So it was quite cumbersome to search, and that was the fatal flaw in it. But YouTube is a great service for streaming video games. It's just that one, part of it was not, was kind of its downfall, unfortunately. Here I thought, doing recorded videos first and then YouTube gaming becoming a thing, I thought I was getting on the ground floor of something special, but just, it's still good for live streaming, but just not as that, it's not something people go to as an app. Oh, I didn't want to receive. That was a mistake. Oh well. Let's get started in this one early.
The signal, and we're set.
So I would have put the Houston Texans helmet on the overlay, but I don't have that one because I'm pulling these from Tecmo. Hunter Iggy asking, are you going to watch the draft combine this coming weekend? Thanks for joining the chat. I'll watch some of it. It's always good to see how guys are going to do in the combine. It doesn't always translate to actual skill on the field, but it's good to watch, see who the fastest guys are, how much they can lift, and how high they can jump. Don't know why I started with a running play. That's not the bread and butter of this team.
Didn't even let him get back to the line of scrimmage.
They put a stop to this play.
I don't know what play I just picked.
Pretty good call by the defensive coordinator.
One I probably want to audible out of.
That will bring up second down.
I don't need a QB draw.
Listen up, grade 37. Listen up.
And even though I didn't change formations, they're worried about it.
Vic throws a
David Terrell, sure-handed thing.
brought down hard at the 47. It will be first down.
So let me look at the video here real quick.
First down, 10 yards to go.
For some reason, oh, and my own receiver got in the way there.
Throw that one in, and it falls incomplete.
Tunja Robinson closed in from the zone and forced the incompletion.
The defense stood up to that play and shut. It'll be second down.
Second down, so let me just press pause here for 1 second. It's weird on how default it's cutting off some of the screen. Okay. So Houston Texans, don't really know who they had in 2005. I have to see when they get the ball. Got popped right there.
Down at the 50.
They were ready for Vic scrambling, not too surprised.
Receivers line up as the defense settles into a nickel package.
Put the loft on it to the sure-handed receiver on the team, Marty Booker. He's leading the NFL in receiving right now. So I put the right touch on it. That rating could be higher for Vic, 92.6. It's still good, but I've thrown some unnecessary interceptions.
But there's still a lot of game left.
First down from the shotgun. Vic
Oh, man. Justin Gage looks like he's back from injury.
Justin Gage.
But that was right on the money. He just dropped it.
That ball over the middle.
Potential for a quick first down, but no, they cannot hook up the pass.
You can take a shot in that situation.
So this one is my trick. I'll look for the out on A, but if they're not in a zone, I'm going to run to the left with Vic. Which they are in a zone, so I'm just going to take it up the middle. Dive in time, don't take a big hit.
Improvises on this one. It's called thinking on your feet, and he does a great job of it. Yep, nice little scramble there.
And there you
So
go.
he had no option, so he did what he had to do.
So the thing is, like, it's harder to scramble with Vic when they play a zone because then they're in the right spot to make a tackle.
Vic zips it to the left side.
David Terrell doing some damage on this drive.
David Terrell had a defender close by, but was able to bring down the catch.
They move the ball, and it will be second
I
down.
was excited when the Bears got him. I'm going to run in behind him, try to dive in, but to no avail there.
Vic does a little last minute
It's a little risky.
here, and he gets some yards.
Peter, it doesn't even seem fair.
I just need a dive
Can run like
play.
he can.
And That's what makes this guy so dangerous. Good coverage, good pressure, but still, no one could corral him.
We go strong ISO, pound it in. Ugh.
Jones loses one on the play, and that brings up second down.
Gary Deloche targeted the ball carrier early and didn't even let him get back to the line of
See who we
scrimmage.
got on the outside. Oh, he was
Little
open.
loss, but it will still be second and short.
But I'll run it in anyways with Vic.
For the touchdown.
And a good start to this one. No turnovers, no injuries,
Get the yards you need. And as you can
and a
see,
touchdown on the first drive of the game.
Touchdown, and there is no better way to cap off a play than like that.
yeah, nothing better than points, Dano.
Now the extra point, and
Wow.
somehow he misses it.
A little bit distracted from the basketball game on the right side, and I missed an extra point. Haven't done that yet.
Watch this.
We'll see if that's a factor in this game.
No good. That is embarrassing.
There's the
He's saying it's embarrassing. So this is before, of course, they moved the field goal back to make it more challenging on extra points, which I don't really like it.
Downfield for a big gain. Hey, who needs the touchback when you can
I think
get
they
even
should
more
have
yards
left it or
yourself?
just forced two-point conversions. But then, you know, the kicker he's already got a small job. So let's see who they got. This is the Matt Schaub era. Oh, David Carr. Okay, David Carr, he was actually pretty solid. It's just, I just remember him taking like the most sacks in NFL history some seasons. Maybe I'm misremembering, but that's how I remember it. Mike Green comes up with a big stop, and they will be punting already on their 3 and out. Nathan Vasher back to take the kick.
Stanley gets the ball and punts it away. Vasher fields the punt at the 23. Brought down at the 23.
Lost a yard on that one.
Bears had an effective first drive, and we'll see if they can keep it up. They'll start at their own 23-yard
David
line.
Terrell scoops that one.
Gets his man for a pickup of 9.
David Terrell had nobody on him.
Like what he's doing in this one. Thomas Jones only -1 yard in the rush game.
Short situation.
Great play and
Get it in right before the safety.
Booker catches the ball.
Safety doesn't put a hard hit on him.
On this play, it's worth another look here. Oh, it's all about accuracy, Dan, and there was only one guy covering him on that one, so it makes it an easy catch.
A beautiful pickup, Peter. Everyone on the offense is happy about that play.
Definitely great call by the
There's
offensive
Booker's
coordinator.
stats for the season.
It will be a first down.
And he definitely has touchdowns, so I don't know why it says 0. Linebacker was back in coverage on that in route, so it's really easy playing with Vic because you don't have to make multiple reads. You can make your first read, maybe a second read, but really you only have to make one read, and if it's not there, usually you can escape just by running the ball. I would say compared to Tecmo Super Bowl, Michael Vick is more powerful in the 2000 era games than QB Eagles Randall Cunningham in Tecmo Super Bowl.
First down with the tight end right.
The reason I say that is because the defenders are faster in Tecmo Super Bowl. They can get back to a scrambling QB Eagles. In this game, you know, Vic is one of the fastest players. Oh, how's it going, John? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I just remember him being sacked all the time. Like, they never... Oh, Gage stretches out for the first down. And the thing about a guy like David Carr, looking at, you know, he's a top draft pick, is if he's not drafted to the Texans, if he's drafted to a different team, he could have had a completely different career. He's one of those guys. Like, he had all the talent. It's just he was on the, you know, kind of like expansion team, Texan, and he was just getting hit all the time. When's my next NBA Live game? I was actually debating on playing NBA Live 99 again on 64. I enjoyed it, and the other thing about that I learned about that game is NBA Live 99 on 64 is really just a rehashed NBA Live 98 from the PlayStation. But NBA Live 99 on PC and PlayStation was actually, you know, it was a different engine as well as some of the text graphics and different things. So the game was different. But NBA Live 99 on 64 is just a rehashed version of NBA Live 98 for PlayStation. And the other weird thing about NBA Live 99 is it's that rare game where it has, because of the NBA strike, it has the previous season's rosters. So NBA Live 99 still has the championship Chicago Bulls team from 1998. What's up, Adam? How's it going? Thanks for joining in.
That's his second tackle so far.
I don't know. Looks like the safety's reading this one pretty good. I don't really like any of these plays. If we're scoring a touchdown, maybe we could hit. Oh boy, ran into that one. That's what happens sometimes with trying to run around with Vic.
Great stop.
I tell you what, Dan, Jamie Sharper played alongside Ray Lewis and Peter Boulware in Baltimore. Won a Super Bowl with him, in fact. Really
gunned it in there, Marty Booker. How's that not a touchdown?
Tags the missile and he's just short of the first down.
Can I challenge that? He looked like he was over the goal line.
And it worked out from so many angles.
Yeah, he's in. Come on.
Love is all the little details.
So, if you watched the last game, I had one called against me where they said I was out of bounds, but I actually wasn't. This one, I think you could see clearly it was a touchdown. We'll see how they call it.
This is their first challenge of the game, and even if they lose this one, they still have one challenge left.
Let's see. Adam says he just got off work. Got some late workers. They come on to watch some of the games later.
All you need to do is have the tip of the ball cross it. I don't know, Dan. I don't think he got that in the end zone. The call will probably stand.
The player did not cross the plane. Chicago will be charged with timeout.
See, the challenges are just so useless.
Them a timeout, and you have to believe that he is not very happy with that call.
Because that, you could clearly see he was in. Yet, they charged me a timeout and said he wasn't in. So there you go. And then I get a delay a game. Oh my God. I think I'll just kick the field goal. Go up. Since I missed that last one. I might need this field goal practice for later in the playoffs, so that was just a bad set of circumstances. I got out of, after taking a huge sack, I got out of it with a big play to Booker that should have been a touchdown, but the game doesn't want to recognize it as that.
Rockets this one deep. Wells downs this in the end zone for a touchback.
And Yeah, I just the challenges don't make sense. It's,
Climb back into it.
they would have
Score
to
be
not call a
1.5
touchdown
here.
on
They will start this
purpose
drive at their own 20-yard line.
and then make me challenge it, but
Davis
they didn't think
gains
I was
3
in.
yards, and that will bring up second down.
What's up, Pro Gamer? You going to Brian's Kirby tourney tomorrow at Michael Anthony? Kirby tournament? What game? What Kirby game? I would like to see how he runs that type of tournament.
Down. Set. Great.
Carr puts his
Oh.
arm into this one, and it's in.
NES Kirby. I like that game. That's one of the few games I actually got new on the Nintendo. Was the Kirby game. It was a later release. And if you're not that good at platformers, it's a fun playthrough. I do recommend that one. But as a tournament, I'm not sure how that would work.
This one will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
That would be cool if the
And he just dropped it.
2K Sports made an XFL game. I think it's more likely if the XFL has some success
Lines up for the punt.
in its first year back. But we'll see. I'm excited for the XFL. I want to see how they do it this time around. They locked up some good TV deals already. They're going to be on Fox, FS1, ESPN, and ABC. I mean, that's pretty much top of the line networks, and for sports too. Brian giving away lumberjack drags flannels. Oh man, that would be a sight to see. That guy loves flannels. You know, I got this computer, the Acer Nitro 5, and it's got this Norton antivirus, which is driving me crazy. David Carr led the league 3 out of 4 years in QB sacks against him, 76 in 1 year. That's almost 5 a game. Ouch, that would make a lot of QBs want to quit. Yeah, he was a tough guy. He definitely didn't quit.
He's going the wrong way.
I heard the announcer scream he's going the wrong way. TNT, I'm not sure about TNT. Man, get this thing out of here.
Third down, empty backfield.
I think the AAF is on TNT. Oh yeah, I got tons of space here.
One man to beat.
So right now, I looked before this game, and Vic's second in the league in rushing right now. Only behind Jamal Lewis on the Ravens. Oh wow, they had a lot of coverage back there.
Sack in the backfield. The quarterback had nowhere to go on this one. Let's watch. Yep, the D shut.
Second down and 5.
It'll be interesting if the XFL can get a few bigger names, especially out of college. The other thing that I brought up last time is Oliver Luck said they don't necessarily want to test for cannabis, for smoking it or anything. So that's interesting because that's always been something that some of the players have done in the NFL. Ricky Williams comes to mind. Terrell coming through with the hands today. He's had some drops for me, but not today.
He beats his man cold. It's all about staking your turf.
Third and long, and they get the big play to convert. What do you think of that, Peter?
I love it. That's what football is all about, making the big plays when you need to, and you can't coach that.
First down, and this is the 7th.
Second and inches. I got timeouts. Don't need to worry about it
A little last-minute razzle
quite
dazzle
yet.
there, and he gets some yards.
Come on, D, big stop, big stop.
Second and inches.
Strong back.
Ball
Throw down.
I think I'll take one here.
Bears will take a timeout. That's their second.
Maybe try to hit a quick out or something. And then if it's not there, just run it in.
First down with 2 tight ends to the right. Booker didn't haul that one in, and it falls incomplete.
Oh, was he
Kept
in?
both eyes on the short
I don't even
out on
want
that
to challenge
one and
it.
caused the incomplete pass.
I know they'll just call it back.
Watch the draw. Watch the
Second
draw.
and goal. Ball at 2 yards.
Then zings it to
That's his first touchdown of the year, I believe.
for the score.
I believe.
Michael Vick goes right past the coverage and into his receiver's hands. Nice throw.
And he was supposed to run out on that, but he was open up the
How
seam.
do his stats look?
Well, so far,
So,
he's got
hey, whatever
12
works.
yards and 2 touchdowns.
Winning this game, it'll pretty much clinch a playoff spot.
Here's the extra
And
point.
so far, so good.
It's good.
16-0.
The ref gets the signal.
And I wasn't paying attention on that kick.
Edinger kicks a short one. Wells fields the short kick at the 18. Breaks a tackle. Brought down
So will you guys be
at
watching the
34.
NFL Draft Combine? I believe that was asked earlier by
Receiving team.
Hunter, Iggy.
15-yard
Sure, I don't see him scoring on this possession.
Mark Bruner just clips his.
The Texans offense takes the field with the clock at 22.
But I've been thinking about what a bummer it's been the last like 10 years that no one else has been able to create an NFL game besides EA.
Mike Brown came in and got a hand on that football and left.
It has really put a damper on the variety of different ways you can use some of your favorite athletes in the country.
Goal 16.
Hudson down in the backfield, and the clock continues to run.
Michael Green was a one-man wrecking crew back
Yeah,
there.
one thing, and I've said this before, is that on defense,
Job eliminating any
I haven't had to get too creative to shut down my opponents.
catches it over the middle, and that's not enough. He's short
Unless
of
I've
markers.
been playing a good quarterback, they're having a hard time
Bears enjoying the lead,
just getting
16
through,
to nothing. And now let's send you to Chris Berman
every
in our
one-man
studios
coverage with
in
2 deep
Bristol
safeties.
for the
That's
ESPN
just the go-to. Oh, that was skipped. Sorry, guys. Halftime was skipped with Chris Berman.
There's the signal, and we're ready.
I might have hit A on it at an inopportune time.
Johnson downs this in the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense has to score here. This drive will start at their own 20.
But this game basically blended everything that was great about the 2K series on the Dreamcast. And then it gave it a ESPN presentation and overlay with Madden play style of picking plays. Or a Madden, style of selecting plays. And I prefer that over the way it was on the Dreamcast, where you had to go down the little circles and pick the plays.
Short of the markers, but he'll
Also, you knew exactly what play your opponent was picking then. At least this way, there's 3 options on the screen, so you don't know which one they're exactly picking.
Davis gains 3 yards, and they will move the chain. First down.
And I'll let them grind up the field. That's fine with me.
Down. Set.
Davis carries it for a 3rd time in a row and chews up about 4 on the play.
Adam, so you hate the current Maddens? See, I don't hate the Maddens from this era on the PS2 and Xbox. I actually like them and want to play them some, but you know, the ones that they started with on PS3 and Xbox 360, those ones were pretty bad. And then I never really got back into the series the way I would have liked to. I have Madden 17, not bad, but you know, it leaves. It's not 15 years into the future for what NFL game should be. People still say that this one's better right here, right now. And yes, I would say this is a better game than any more current Madden that I've played. The one thing I wish there was a community for is people who play this game in live tournaments. I think there's the groups that play this. That's it, 24 tackles and 1 sack. It's pretty weak for Urlacher, but that's what I've been doing. Yeah, there's people who play this online. But hey, if you're out there and you see this video and you know of some live ESPN 2K5 scene, or if you're interested in it, let me know. This would be a great game to compete against others in. And Adam's saying he's like Madden 06 and 12 on PS2. Was 12 the last one that came out? Because I think I recently bought the one with Drew Brees on the cover. I can't remember if that's 11 or 12. 06 had Donovan McNabb on the cover.
We sure have. We'll see if they can keep it up, though.
I'm going to blitz with Urlacher just because, why not? And the offensive line that we talked about wasn't there to stop them. They definitely weren't expecting the blitz. It's the first time I blitzed the whole game.
On 2nd down, they tried for the first, but it's played well by the defense. That will bring up 3rd.
And now we're going to make it a routine. As they said, Urlacher only has 1 sack. See what they do. They're going to punt on the 34. Interesting, with no points on the board. What do I think about game day? Well, I love the game day music. That really sets the tone for the whole series. I've been listening to it. I'm going to use that in a couple videos that I'm doing. But the game as a whole, especially starting in 98. 98's my favorite game day, and it's still fun to play today. I would play it right now and have a good time. You know, 99, 2000, I played those as well. Not much changed with them. They're pretty much similar thing. As it went later on, they just got lazier with the text graphics and changed the music, which I guess they had to do to keep it fresh, but it's nowhere near what it was in the first few versions. But it's a great retro football game to go back to. If you're going to go back to one in the PlayStation era, that's the one to go back to for a simulation. If you're going to go back to arcade sports one, you want to go back to either NFL Blitz on N64 or NFL Blitz 2000 on Dreamcast and PlayStation. Not the 64 one. That one has major frame rate issues. I would not recommend it. "100 yards rushing for Vic. It's another day in the schoolyard. Making it happen."
You don't see this out of just any old quarterback. 100-yard games are usually reserved for your starting running back.
So as this season progressed, I've gotten better at finding holes in the line. That one was pretty big, and then taking some yards. That has helped me, you know, keep series alive, get first downs, and not make as many mistakes in the passing game.
Vic zips it to the left sideline, and it's complete at the 43, and he's stopped.
Is NFL Fever better than Game Day? That's a good question. NFL Fever, I haven't played it in a while, but it definitely looks better than any of the game days. So that I would say yes. It has some wacky default control schemes, so you do have to change that. I would say it never resonated with me like the Game Day series. But that's also because I didn't have an Xbox until later on. And see, what happens when you're playing these games against a computer, you find out the plays that work, and you keep going back to them. But what do you think? What do you guys think that are watching? NFL Fever or Game Day as being the better game? Not too fancy.
Michael Vick on nothing happening, so he just...
Like, there's not a lot of need for me to want to play NFL Fever. This game series was really good, and so was the Madden series at the time. So that's why it was tough for NFL Fever to survive. In a climate like right now, people are just dying for a new football game, simulation football game. Mutant Football League does a good job parodying the NFL, but it's not it's an arcade game that's even more over the top than just a regular arcade sports game. So that's not going to be for everybody. But they do the best job of anything out there, like creating a football experience that has ties to NFL players.
Wells downs this in the end zone for a touchback. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Bears in command of this one, 23-0.
Texans not putting up much of a fight here. As I've said before, I play on All Pro. None of the sliders are adjusted.
Their last drive stall out at the end. We'll see if they can keep momentum throughout this one, which starts at their own 20-yard line.
Oh, I almost crushed him.
Johnson didn't haul
That blitz seems to look pretty good. Let's try it again.
Bradford was shaken up earlier, and I hear Susie Culber has a report for us. Susie?
Thanks, Dan. I managed to get a word with the team doctors, and they said that he has fractured his leg. Dan, back to you.
As always, we'll hope for the best up here in the booth. Thank you, Susie.
Susie Culber on the report.
side, and this one
David
is
Carr
incomplete.
he's under too much pressure. He just can't handle it.
So far.
Unfortunately so.
Joe Odom was having a great season until he got injured.
This is to be expected. Players can't spend time worrying about whether
Yeah, I would have to go down that road and play those 2003, 2002, 2004. And you know, people remember those games because there's a thirst for something different than what's the plain vanilla EA Sports Madden. Come on, Urlacher.
He gets tackled short of the marker. It'll be 4th down.
The quarterbacks don't throw the ball too often in the middle of the field. And even when I hit the Y button
Carr gets some air under this
for a pick, it's always like he's always going for a deflection.
Zuma gets a hand on this one. Right there. That's how you play D.
So that's a turnover on downs.
Bears offense takes the field, and can they capitalize on the defensive stop? Well, they'll start this drive at the 25-yard line.
Took a
Haynes gets the sack.
coverage sack there.
Seth Payne dismantled that play by bringing down the quarterback for a loss of yardage.
That's number 4 on the game for this defense.
Looks like Portland's kind of running away with this one.
Second down with the tight end right. Dragged down at the 21.
Michael Vick had his
Oh
back
yeah,
against the
2K
wall.
definitely
That
had
play
Madden
called his
scared.
own number. Great run.
Especially when they pulled their $20 new for the game. So they basically caught up to them as far as sales numbers. They got people playing it. It was a good strategy. So instead of making a better football game, they used their cash to lock down the NFL license. I can't believe I'm still talking about this. I mean, this happened when I was a teenager, and now it's 15 years later, and nothing's changed. At least when they did it initially too, they had the NFL Street Game, so they were producing something else with the license. So that's why it wasn't as bad at the time. You can't wait for Vic to get hurt. What's up, Kevin? I have an insurance policy on that. That did happen the first game that I... Oh, that's a touchdown. The first game I had Vic, he got injured on the first drive. And my backup was Jonathan Quinn. And he has no really passing ability or running ability. And it didn't go too well. I lost that game. So I traded for Cordell Stewart, which was actually on the Bears a year previous to this, because he's a lot faster in this game than he would have been in Madden. I think Vic's a 91 speed and Cordell Stewart's a 85. So they're quite generous in the Cordell Stewart speed. So if he goes down, I got Cordell Stewart, and I could still scramble around, do some things. NFL Street 3, I can't say I've ever played it. They kind of all blend together for me because I didn't play that series that much. Yeah, Jonathan Quinn. Yeah, he was a backup for the Bears. No mobility. When he came into games, it wasn't pretty. And Adam, that's one game I'd like to get to eventually.
As they start this drive at their own 20-yard line. Carr makes the throw after the play action.
That time they threw up the middle.
Well past the marker.
30-0. I would go as far as to say defense is too easy in this game. The only teams that have given me a challenge are the teams that have top of the line quarterback or offense.
Rifles it out left side, and it is not reeled in.
Offense was not as easy until I got Michael Vick.
Down, one man down.
But really what prompted me to do that is I was watching the Sports Center recaps, and then all these other teams are making acquisitions and trades. I'm like, well, I might as well do it too.
Incomplete. That will bring up fourth down.
Jabbar Gaffney stayed
And let me tell you, it is more fun.
was not able to reel in the catch. Incompletion.
Another incompletion, and they still can't get it done through the air. And now that we're in the
Scrambling
fourth quarter,
quarterbacks
it doesn't look
in
like
these
it's
games
going to change.
is a great luxury to have. Oh, Mike Brown comes through with a pick.
David Carr is feeling some pressure as he lets this
Kevin
one
did
go.
some research, and Jonathan Quinn was the 2001 World Bowl MVP of the Berlin Thunder, winning the World Bowl of NFL Europe. I do remember NFL Europe because Marcus Robinson on the Bears, which was a good receiver for a few years, played in NFL Europe. But I had no clue that Jonathan Quinn was part of that. Oh man, my receivers have been catching everything.
Michael Vick handles big time on this play, and it works.
I just threw a dart trying to get in there before the safety hits him. Just did.
It's a real fine line.
That's another pass that went pretty much down the middle. He hasn't been working the sides too much.
Well, he's obviously very confident to be throwing into where all the traffic is. He's bearing the D to stop him. As you can see, he's up over the century mark.
Oh, they had the QB spy, and it wasn't good enough.
Eventually runs out at the 22.
Michael Vick on nothing happening, so he decides to scramble for it.
And he
So
turns
Kevin, how are things going? How's signups for the Super Bowl looking? I think the XFL lasting 2022 will happen. So yes, I think there's a better chance. This time around, the XFL is trying to make it more football-like, a faster game. And we're in a climate now where one of the only things that drives live network television is live sports. People are not watching the shows on there as much because they're binge watching them on Hulu and Netflix and everything. So there is a need for these networks to have. And there's another touchdown for Vic. So I think it will happen. I think it's going to be in for the long haul. The London team, that might be, well, it could happen because there's only one game a week, so I could see that happening as well, but I'm not banking on it. John saying, I was not happy with EA Sports when they stopped making games for the PC in 2008, like playing games on my laptop. Yeah, I like the sports games on PC as well. I remember convincing my friend to get Madden 2001 on the PC, and he was kind of pissed because he didn't really want it that much. And it wasn't, at that point, it wasn't as good as what was on PlayStation 2. But before that, like everything from like, I would say 95 to 2000, those games were better on the PC. That's where I first played NBA Inside Drive. NBA Inside Drive 2000 was a PC game. And then it carried over to the Xbox in 2002. Has Vince Carter on the cover, and then Paul Pierce the next year. And he was really feeling the blitz there.
Jerry Azuma came in and got a hand on that football and left no chance for a reception there.
That's his third batted ball. And he is doing his part, that is for sure.
Nice to see aggressive D-line.
David Carr not having the best.
The clock is stopped at 1:56.
Oof.
Zips it to the left sideline, and
These
it's
games
incomplete.
sometimes get really ugly in the fourth quarter because the computer starts forcing it. got him there. Yes, Inside Drive was Microsoft NBA game. So it didn't last too long. They had the PC one, which was great, and then the ones on Xbox, which I really like those too. I still have not played a game where, well, maybe the new 2K games, where the teams run fluid offense. That was the first game where I'm like, hey, they're really, they're not just like bumping into each other like the NBA Live and just scoring points. Like they're actually running an offense. And who helped make those games was High Voltage Software, which also helped Midway port some of their games over. So they actually developed Inside Drive for the Xbox, and they're out of Illinois.
Come up blank so many times in a row is, well, it's got to be demoralizing.
Absolutely, but you got to fight through the slump and grab one to get rolling.
NBA Inside 02, isn't that what they changed the shootout series to? That was the negative about there being so many options of all these games through PlayStation and PS2 era, is like there were just some I never got to, and I still have never got to. Like NBA In the Zone is one of those NBA series. I've never played it really. I probably have played it once or twice on PlayStation as a rental, but that's about it. Choose NBC, the more you know. Rainbow Star. Yes, we're talking games now. Sports games during this blowout against the Texans. There's just too much running room. And NBA Inside was one I didn't get to. It was sad how far, because I thought NBA Shootout, Game Day, MLB Series, those are all 989 Sports PlayStation games, Sony games, and oh, we're making moves. We're making moves. 200 yards rushing for Vic. But once the PS2 era hit, Madden was awesome. The first one looked so good. It had its faults, but I mean overall it's still a great game. Then the 2K series for NBA. MVP Baseball was good. Oh boy, what the heck? That I was not trying to do. He was not going forward. He caught the ball backwards, so then he started running backwards. That's not what I was trying to do.
Second down, 19 yards to go.
Didn't really have much there. But the Game Day series, I actually have one of the Game Day games on PS2 over there that I bought a while ago, and I have not played it yet. I'm kind of curious to bust it out. Oh, Vic's tired. Practice a field goal. Never liked the 989 series, maybe Cool Borders. You didn't like NFL Game Day? We were talking about that earlier. Sinks it, 40-yard field goal. What's up, DJ Hosteller? Go Bears, go! And I think we locked it down. 40-yard field goal for 40 points. What's up, Infamous Smoke? How's it going? You came just in time to see this 40-0 blowout of the Texans.
Decides to take it out of the end zone. Breaks free. Tackled at the 21.
Jonathan Wells got out close to the 20 on that one, so his decision to take it out of the end zone didn't really pay off, but it didn't really hurt him either.
So yeah, this might have been my biggest, not maybe, I didn't score the most points in this one, but I don't think I've had a 40-0 shutout like this.
This pass will fall harmlessly.
I kind of missed the 97-2000 football games, picked up the 2K on the Dreamcast. Yeah, 2K blew everything out on the Dreamcast, especially the first one, because the Dreamcast really came through big with the graphical leap in that era.
Second down. The clock is stopped at 4.
So the only thing, nothing was close to it, but Game Day was still probably its biggest competitor. But it changed quick in that era.
Throws a big high lob, and it's
I say the Game Day series is one of the best besides Madden. Yes,
and
of
that
course.
is going to do it for this one.
In that era, definitely. PS2,
To nothing.
it didn't look as good. I still want to play it and give it a chance.
Bye until next time.
Am I going to run another one? I don't know. It's possible. Looks like Portland's going to beat Denver and force another Game 7. Miss 2K football. Here's a Chris Berman post-game show. I never got into MVP baseball. I was in the Triple Play series, but I kind of fell out of baseball games earlier.
The Bears stepped it up for sure, putting up some good numbers.
But they had to fight back, so EA couldn't make those games anymore. I think they came out with an NCAA baseball game, which some people liked.
Already inside field goal range. Michael Vick.
Oh yeah, those Dreamcast commercials were good.
18-yard play that set up a Bear touchdown. The Bears
There's no negative plays for me this whole game, I don't think, on offense. No fumbles, no picks. I haven't had too many like that. If at all, any. You know, the play style running around with Vic taking a few hits. Oh yeah, the NCAA football games. Those were really good. And even though they were the same engine as the Madden games, especially in the PS2, Xbox era, they played different because of the plays, the fact that you could lateral. So those games were a blast to play. I feel like they opened it up even more in those games. You could argue that those are actually better.
Now let's catch up with the player who really ignited his team's offense with his deft passing and has earned our
207, 3 TDs. Let's give him an interview, Susie.
Thanks, Chris. You really showed up today.
And 2
you
touchdown
prevailed
passes.
with a big victory.
He's on your
What was
fantasy
your
team.
team's success today?
This was a hard game for us today. Both teams put everything they had into winning. We were fortunate to come up with some big plays down the stretch, and that allowed us to come out on top.
Back to you, Chris.
Well, that just about does it. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time here on ESPN, celebrating 25 years as the worldwide leader in sports. I'm Chris Berman. So long.
That will do it. End of the game. Now we're going to get to watch the weekly recap. But since I got you all here and I want to see if this works, Kevin, I got something special for you here. So we're going to be doing I'm going to see if this works right now because I have to test it out in OBS. But we're going to be covering the Tupa Bowl in what, 10 days or so? Less than 10 days. So I wanted to do like an intro for the beginning of the stream. So I'm going to try to play it now and see what happens. And then Kevin will get a sneak peek on it, see what he thinks. So I'm going to play that and then I'll do the weekly recap. This is the game day music. know if you could hear, see this. We had to cut Troy for most of this intro. He's not coming this year, so screw him. Oh, Mystic Mamba. All right, that's it. So, one of the reasons I want to get the new computer is because the old one I got for $100 special, and there was just no reason for me to even try to do new stuff because it was barely running the streams, and it still does. It does the job, but yeah. So I wanted to start doing some new things. It's pretty easy to just throw a little intro video together. Kevin says that was awesome. So yeah, we're gonna play that at the beginning of the Tupa Bowl stream on May 18th on Saturday. So we could start doing those for other tournaments as well, and they could get better as we go. But I love that game day music, so I might keep that for like the tournament intros because it just makes sense. It's awesome music. It sets the tone, and it is game day when we have those tournaments. So I gotta simulate the rest of this week, and then we can watch the weekly recap with Chris Berman. I'm glad it worked because I haven't tried it yet, and I was going to test it out, but I figured since, hey, you know, you guys are here watching, Kevin's watching, you might as well. Kevin runs the tournament. He's in the chat. ESPN show's happening right now, Adam. Troy says the worst intro ever. He's not going to be too happy with it. Even though he commentated on the tournament, he's like, where am I? Bears trying to secure a bye and lose to the Pack. Pack aren't making the playoffs. Green Magic.
This week we had the Cowboys end up on the right side of an 11-point game.
Neither of those two teams.
The Browns won this contest, but will
or
stay
these
in
two.
fourth place in the AFC North.
No highlights for any of these teams. Steelers might be on the bubble.
His team some added firepower for the win. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Rams.
Uh-oh, they're making a comeback. John likes the intro.
Bears. Michael Vick let his big old offensive line pave the
Oh,
way.
he's flying.
Bears go on to win this by the final score of 40-0.
40-0.
Corin Robinson pulled down 100-plus receiving yards and helped his Seahawks beat the Jets. Down in the deep south of Atlanta, we had the Falcons
Work
get
done.
sent home with a 14-point
Falcons,
loss.
they're regretting that trade for Vic now.
We had the Buccaneers
They
getting
started
hit
the
by
season
3
good, but
points.
they're 8-6.
Broncos, Chiefs. Trent Green.
I still think playing the game is the best part, but the highlights really enhance the experience. There's no doubt about it.
Touchdown. The Chiefs win this one by the final score of 20-17. The Patriots racked up over 150.
Patriots killing. They got Corey Dillon this season.
The Titans won on
Just
the road.
plug and play. Anybody with Brady, they're good to go.
We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report.
Another
And
dude
as
out for
you
the
see,
season.
They were hit hard this week. Richard Seymour will be on the sidelines for a while,
Adam.
so this defense will need to do some reshuffling.
Green, if there's an NBA Jam tournament, Green Magic will be there. Don't you worry.
Chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own mash unit. Matt Burke won't see action
As he
for a
just
while,
says
so
the
this
same
offense
thing
is
in
gonna
chat
have to
that I
make
said.
do without him. X-rays after the game revealed it is indeed a broken leg, so he'll likely be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. Now,
Oh no, Eddie
as
George.
you may have already heard, Eddie George said he knew his season was over the second he went down. And indeed, his
Cleveland, Toronto. Do I know of any others?
So that'll do it for now. Boomer, back to you.
Jaguars.
I do not,
Packers.
but surprised there hasn't been one that popped up on the arcade cabinet. Or cabinets. Oh, here's the Packers. I'm on green.
The Packers win this one by the final score of 20-10. The Bengals lost this one, but will stay at number 2
two
in the
teams
AFC
fighting
North.
for playoff
And
position,
an
possibly.
interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
Pakistan
All right, Chris,
NBA Jam
let's
tournament.
switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League.
Adam, you gotta
As
make it
free
happen.
agency continues to play such a huge
Live tournaments are a
role in
good time.
determining a
There's
team's makeup.
something
This
different
guy is
than
gonna
what
find
usually
himself
happens
with a new
when
club, and
people
he'll be in a new
get
tax
together
bracket, too.
for
4 years, $1.1
retro
million.
games.
Scott Rayburn will
Retro
also
sports
have a new
games are
tax
kind of like their
while
own
as
thing.
he signs a
They're off on
4-year
an island
contract with
over
the
here.
Bills. Kenny Holmes will be on the
But
move.
that's okay.
See it there. He'll be getting a nice little payday too. 6 years, $12.1
Big
million.
time
Added on to
signing.
that, a $3.6 million signing bonus. Brett Williams got snatched up as well, and he signs a 2-year contract.
Brett got
with the Lions.
snatched.
Tim Rattay stepped it up this
Yeah,
week
the game
and
you
gave
would
his team some added
the game name
firepower for the
music
win.
could be used on national
Ravens,
television and you
Colts.
wouldn't know that it's not supposed to, like, it is perfect for a football game. I think that's one of the things about game day, that you already know it's serious because of that music.
10, the 5, touchdown. The Colts go on to win this by the final score of 24-10. And last but not least, we have
They
the
don't.
Vikings come away
They're
victorious.
not. They're gonna get a beat down.
All right, Chris.
Jam
thanks.
TE
Just 2 weeks to go
for
until the playoffs
SNES.
arrive, and just as we do every year, we're looking at a number
If
of
the Vikings
different
lose, I
races
want to
as
get the
teams
first
jockey for
seed.
position. We'll start it out in the AFC. Meanwhile,
No, they
let's
did
take a look at
not.
how things stand over in the NFC.
All these punk teams ahead of the
That's how things
Bears.
shape up. Still plenty of intriguing matchups up
Clint's the
front.
playoff
We'll
berth,
turn
though.
closer to January. And that'll do it from here. Chris, let's send it back over to you.
So with just 2 weeks to go now, still plenty to be decided before January.
Vic's a
rolls around.
primetime player every week.
Primetime players game balls go out to these men, each helping their
Ed
team
Reed,
down the stretch.
14 tackles.
That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
NBA Jam tournament where you get the intellectual property. Yeah, the Vikings. I should have beat them that first time I played them. That might change some things. So, if I play another game, I know Adam wants to see it. Do you guys want to see another game, or you just stopping in? Because each game takes 45 minutes. So, it's no quickie. It's a retro game, but you know, if Misspoke wants another game. And surprisingly, this Xbox that I bought in Grand Rapids, Michigan for $40, it's worked flawless for me for this game. Detroit is the next opponent. So we could get them updated with a helmet. Not too worried about the lines. It's getting to the point where I should just start Cordell Stewart. Oh wow. This is not on center here. There we go. Detroit basketball lines. The power button sticking on your Xbox, that sucks. That could make it difficult to start playing. Alright, so the Lions. I just want to see something real quick. Not the player rewards. But the stats. League leaders. Rating went up, but not enough. What about TDs? Second in touchdown passes behind Aaron McNair. All right. The people have spoken. They want another game. Let's do it. Prepare the game. See, this is one thing, the depth that was added to some of these games that I could care less about. Like this stuff, I don't want to do it. But, you know, I'm all for the presentation. Yes, Steve McNair, he's not with us. He's a great quarterback, though. You think Troy will flip out if every time he has a Tecmo season I tell him his quality is worse than yours? He won't like it. He's, you know, we're getting the quality back up there to his standard or over.
Hi there, I'm Chris Berman. Here we go on ESPN.
Let's see what Chris Berman has to say.
In all of sports. And from the Papa Bear on down, Chicago's been home to some of the greatest ever player coach of the game. Yeah, do it all. Only one Super Bowl appearance through 2004. Why? Can the Bears awaken?
So definitely going to the playoffs.
Bears. Why?
2 games left in the season.
Still fans making their
We're
way
making
through
good
the turnstiles.
momentum.
They'll be just in time to catch the start of this game.
Yeah, that's because I don't train. It doesn't affect anything on the field, so I don't know what it's doing. But whatever they're trying to get me to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're not doing it. We just play the game. We don't do practice. We do playoffs, not practice. You think Michael Vick has to practice? He's got the fastest legs and the strongest arm on the field every time he walks on it.
To turn on a dime and carve through the defense on his way upfield. On the other side of the ball, we've got another top performer. Sean Bryson is a superb player. He's just an all-around talent and a supreme competitor.
In the past, though, I have to say, I used to skip all this stuff. But now I have a great appreciation for it. And we're going against Joey Harrington. Let's see if we'll sweat this game at all. We'll start off kicking. Defeats the purpose, all this practice. These games are meant to be fun. That's the thing about professional sports. Or just playing sports. At some point, there's people who make it not about the fun. It becomes work. But when you're playing it as a video game, it's meant to be fun, so you should play the best games possible and have fun doing it. No, this is a Chicago Blackhawks hat made out of hemp. And it's actually a new era hat as well.
Picks up 4 on the play.
Steven Alexander made a superb catch, even though he had 3 guys closing in on him. What a play.
Yeah, Joey Harrington. He had moments. He threw a strike there.
Get away from me. I have the ball to catch.
He really beat his man. That was bad coverage.
He's just a great
Scott
receiver.
Mitchell is happy. Scott Mitchell got some minutes on the Lions. Oh, wow. What the heck happened there?
Definitely a great call by the offensive coordinator.
Okay. I did actually go for the blitz there. And that's why I don't do that.
Joey Harrington goes right past the coverage and into his receiver's hands. Nice throw.
So I'm not going to say it's a game, but at least they put some pressure on me here.
Here's the point after, and it's good.
And just as no animals were harmed in the making of this cap. Most caps are made out of polyester or cotton. I guess there are some wool ones out there, but
Catches it back at the 1.
now slave labor to make the hat, I'm not so sure about that, but that's a topic for another day.
Nice kick and a nice little run back after the catch. Good job.
Bears will start this drive at
We got Tommy Harrison. Oh, they're not having it, Vic. They just want to avoid the hit.
Michael Vick tried to run out of the pocket on that one, but
Wasn't worth a hit for 2 yards.
can't be too happy about that.
You do have to practice at these games, honestly, though, to get to an elite level. But if you just play an opponent, play good opponents over and over again, then you could get better, and that's what you would call practice. You don't have to run NBA Jam drills like Green Magic, but oh wow, 4th down and 7. Well, let's just go for it. Let's make this interesting. We clinched the playoffs because of the season the Vikings are having. Wow, that couldn't have went any worse. Yeah, because the season the Vikings are having, I can't do better. They would have to lose the last 2, and I would have to win these 2. Oh, tip balls are going their way. Joey Harrington throwing strikes.
Two defenders on this one. What a throw. It's worth a second look. That's what you call confidence. Throwing into double coverage like that.
Imagine getting in the SNES Jam. You might have your work cut out for you in Toronto in that game. You could hit threes, the injuries reset. I'm sure you could tell me about some other differences that you're noticing.
The ref gets the signal, and we're set. Hansen rockets this one deep.
That was a bomb.
Azuma decides to take it out of the end zone.
Alright, so I've created some
got out close to the 20
pressure for myself.
His decision to take it out of the end zone didn't really pay off, but
Down 2 scores. Now we gotta play comeback.
This time out, we'll see what happens as they start this drive at the 18-yard.
Gets it in there before the safety.
She's down 2 defenders and comes away with the football. Oh, nice catch.
Two plays. Big yardage on both plays. Eugene Jarvis from the original arcade version. I don't get too much into the secret characters at all. Oh boy. Wow. See, what happened there is I was running the ball in A's Turbo, but I let it go too soon, and he actually threw it.
position to make
And
the
because I
grab.
just kind of
Watch
tapped
here.
it, it was a lob.
The Lions are going to try
This
and
game is
capitalize
starting
on
off
the
bad.
interception. They'll start this drive at their 44-yard line.
Do I miss Jay Cutler? No,
Pass is complete for a first down.
not at all. I didn't mind Jay Cutler when they traded for him for those first few seasons. Their defense was still great, and they were making a run at a Super Bowl, and they got as far as the NFC Championship. I was fine with that, but the re-signing of Cutler to a big long-term contract, that was just a bad decision.
Harrington lobs this one way over.
All right, so it looks like we forced a quick punt.
Incomplete. That will bring up
Yeah, we have a game. I mean,
Brian Urlacher managed to disrupt things. He got in there and he smacked
it's
that
crazy
pass
how
up
from
the
game to
clear.
game it could change,
like the
but
defense read that one from the beginning, and they forced the incompletion with relative ease.
Beautiful call by the D coordinator.
they threw a quick bomb, and then I did something stupid. I didn't punt. Gave him an easy touchdown on a tip ball.
Nathan Basher didn't have much room to work with back there. The special team squad made sure he couldn't respond.
Way too much money for Cutler and way too much time. Oh, I thought I was going to maybe break that out for a touchdown. Linebacker made the
right here. And now he's off for more.
The stop.
Coaches love receivers who believe his job is just starting when he makes the catch.
A beautiful pickup, Peter. Everyone on the offense is happy about that one.
Definitely great call.
Just got a hand on that. That was dangerous. Could have been an interception.
Randall Bryant is a big asset to the D. 5'10", 174, and the ability to get a hand on the ball and knock it down. Great player.
Raiden? I think Raiden's only in the arcade version now. Oh, man. The Lions either got a good strategy or they just have fast guys on the D-line, because they're really containing the scrambling. Terrell's not catching the ball right now.
Christopher Cash shut down that pass perfectly. You know when you're sitting back in the
Good,
zone
let's
like
go
that,
for it. They're going in the force.
quarterback's eyes to get a jump on the ball.
6-4. Berrien comes through with a huge catch.
Bernard Berrien does a great job here battling three defenders. It's definitely worth a second look. Let's watch. And he still comes up with the ball. Wow, you can't coach that.
A big conversion there, and that's what they need to do to
42 touchdowns.
Great execution.
Oh, Vic going for the dive. I was just trying to slide.
To throw to, so he just tucked it under and went for it. It's worth another look. If it wasn't for that scramble, he would.
Second and inches. Ball on
Vic makes the pass.
Oh, he just didn't do a good job throwing to the opposite side of his throwing hand.
But couldn't make the grab. That's incomplete.
Third down with the tight end right.
Yeah, the NBA asked Midway to remove the Mortal Kombat characters from both the arcade and the console versions. So they're only on versions before, maybe on 2.0, but definitely before 2.0. See, they are containing.
Michael Vick.
All right. Yeah, Frank Thomas. The funny thing is, like, there's characters on the console versions that weren't. There's a touchdown to Booker that weren't on the arcade version, and Acclaim was responsible for that because they did the porting, and they didn't even ask the guys to be in the game. They just started doing it. That's pretty funny, but since it was such a cultural phenomenon, like, I guess no one was mad about it. they looked at it as a privilege.
Now the extra point.
I think I heard Dr. Jazzy Jeff talking about it from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
There's the signal, and we're ready.
That NBA Jam book is still coming out
Boom's a beauty here.
by Rayon. I don't think it's come out yet, but the stuff that he will be able to unveil about the game and everything surrounding it, because he's interviewed Shaq and Glenn Rice and developers. It's gonna be really something. You can follow him on Twitter. Just look up NBA Jam book. I don't buy very many books, I gotta be honest, but that's one I will buy. I have a whole bookcase at my house, but it's hard to get to them when you got games to play. Do a lot more reading online, as most people do, or on their smartphone.
And that'll do it for quarter number 1. The Lions are out in front,
So,
14-7.
close the gap with the touchdown. It's got a D up. I'm not too worried about this. But we have ourselves a game.
Hyena, red 56. Hyena, red 56. Hot. Hot, hot, hot.
Harrington throws a lob right sideline.
They're coming through in the clutch.
Time on this play, and it works. Makes it a little more exciting.
Ken Griffey Jr. is on NBA Jam. And there is an arcade version that Gary Payton has verified, because he has all the versions of it, that Jordan wanted to be in the game, Ken Griffey and Gary Payton in the original NBA Jam. So Midway made them all a special cabinet that includes all of them on the same team.
Way back. Great defensive play.
The defensive design
But the ROM's never been released. But Gary Payton says he has all the cabinets, and he told his son that we got to keep these because they're going to be worth something one day. I'm just hoping that ROM gets released one day, because no one's going to get the cabinet.
Peter, unfortunately, we've had some players banged up so far.
Unfortunately, so.
Yeah, you should hunt him down. I tried to get him last time I was there, and he did come out to the beercade we went to, but he came later than I thought, and we were a little too, well, at least I was too sauced to stay there at that point. Lions moving the ball, but they're punting.
Save, dropping the ball carrier.
I work on a book mobile. I never buy books.
Close to the first, but they could not let it pass.
It's a great job holding them back, Dan.
4th and short. Harris takes the long snap and punts it away. Thatcher gets
I have this thing where I read a book.
Stop at the 22.
I get sleepy like pretty quick, like after like 8 to 10 pages.
He couldn't respond to that really nice punt.
Bears offense comes out and has an opportunity to
So anytime like I do try to read,
they'll start at their own 22-yard
man.
line. This pass will
Come on,
fall
Booker.
harmlessly to the ground, and it's incomplete.
See, there'll be games like this where last game my receivers were catching everything. This game, they're letting me down.
You can take a shot in that situation, and it's really not going to hurt you. That's a good call.
That'll bring up second down. Vick throws a
Another interception.
Brian Walker.
The Lions are looking
Rayon actually came to Chicago for the JamCon thing that they had, and he ended up playing DPS in the finals in Super Nintendo. But DPS beat everyone by like 60 points. So he already showed him who a real gamer is.
Yeah, we've had an injury down on the field. As soon as we hear anything, we'll be sure to pass the information along to you. Second down, 3
There's
wide
not
outs.
really a fine line between you're the best out of your friends and you're actually really competitive at the game.
And the catch is made well past the markers.
The one game that makes me feel that way the most is NHL 94. I feel like I could play all right versus random people, but you start playing these competitive guys, and wow, they'll make you feel like a scrub some games.
That's his first drop, and it is not often you see that from him.
No, normally he's pretty short-handed.
Harrington zings it to the right side, and he's on target for a gain of 5.
Will he include that in his book? Maybe. You never know. I don't think it's fully written yet. Tim Kittrell is there. Maybe it has something to talk about. Yeah, I think there was some potential for that. I know it was a small group, but it's just an odd time, like on a Thursday. And I think it started at like 2 o'clock. It's just weird. Like at least do it on a Friday and start it after people get off work. Make it a 6 to midnight or something. That would have. I think that would have pulled in some more people. Well, definitely some big mistakes in this one.
The ref gets the signal, and we're set. Hansen kicks this one away. Azuma fields the kickoff at the 2. Tackled at the 18.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll do another one. It'll be better. So.
Before he was able to put Munch on the run back.
The Bears offense has to score here. This drive will start at their own 18-yard line. Jones gets the call.
The running game hasn't been too bad to me. Maybe I'll have to pound it on them, get them to respect the run a little bit. Ooh, he tried to throw a late hit.
Michael Vick does a little last-minute razzle-dazzle here, and he gets some yards.
Peter, it doesn't even see.
2-minute warning.
Oh, check out those numbers. Talk about tucking it down and making things happen.
Jones makes the hand move and hits out right. Tackled, and the clock will continue to run.
You know what game is really fun to run the ball in is Game Day 98. Seems like you could put some pretty good moves on people just with the joystick or with the D-pad.
Michael Vick tried to make something happen back there, but nothing doing.
I feel like the Lions game plan defensively. Like they're putting the... I know I should punt here. The typical plays that I go for that I am successful on, they're just not open.
Got that right. So far, he's got 2 tackles and 2 sacks.
Maynard takes the snap and punts it away.
Lack of practice, yeah. Maybe I'll get a big defensive play. It's been a while.
Nice drive results there. I like their efficiency. They've been putting the points on the board without a lot of wasted effort. Great job, sir.
Jones makes it to his 5th carry and picks up a... The Bears take their first time out.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get the ball back.
Second down, 2 receivers to the left.
Urlacher spazzing him out. Okay, that's good. That stops the clock.
And it falls incomplete.
Kevin Jones didn't have anybody on him, and yet he couldn't make the catch.
55 seconds. Nothing's there. All right. Got. Gonna get the ball back. 1 timeout. Should be able to make something happen.
The snap,
it's a good punt.
Vasher fields it at the 35. Crosses the field. 35. Brought down at the 48.
Nathan Vasher did a nice job getting some yards after fielding the solid punt.
Let's try the play action.
Bears have had some trouble moving the ball recently.
We have been
We'll
having
see
trouble
what they do
moving
on
the
this
ball.
drive as they start at their 48-yard line. Runs out, and that will stop the
Stops the
clock
clock,
at
it's out
32.
of bounds.
It will be first down.
Michael Vick decided at the last moment to scramble back there.
First down from the on. Ryan hammers the receiver and forces him to drop the ball.
I just can't catch. I mean, he did get hit, but come on.
Vick throws this one over the middle, and the catch is made. Bears take
All right,
a
that was my
timeout.
last
That's
timeout.
their final one. First down, 10 yards to go.
Racking up the interceptions in this one. Oh my.
Ryan hammers the receiver.
He's dropping it. I'll keep throwing it. I got the timing down. What is going on? You're the best receiver in the league.
Marty Booker had that ball in his
Yeah, he's got 43 touchdowns, and that's just throwing.
Another ball comes his way, and another incompletion.
I'm gonna run it.
So many times in a row,
Oh my
it's
God!
demoralizing
Look at this.
for a player.
Absolutely, but you got to fight through the slump and grab.
He could have caught any three of those.
Fourth down, and the field goal unit is on the
Well,
field.
we're in the dome in Detroit. Shouldn't be any wind.
Kicks it
It's
from
good. Makes it a
35
one-score
yards
game.
out.
Get the ball at halftime.
Paul Edinger has little trouble pooching this one through.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean,
There's the signal.
he's just
and
not
we're
catching the
ready.
ball.
Edinger booms a beauty here.
Making Vic's stats
This
look
will
bad.
fall into the end zone for a touchback. What a kick. The Lions offense takes the field with the clock at 7.
They're still going for it. And they're throwing.
Throws a beauty to the right side, and it's intercepted.
Oh, man.
Tackled
That
at
could
the
have been
20.
a pick six. 80-yard JJ. I don't think Joey...
Michael Green
Vic
knows he
could
doesn't
throw
have a
80
shot
yards,
at it
but I don't know
unless he
about
jumps.
Joey Harrington.
And that'll do it for the first half of this one. The Lions are out in front. 17
I remember an
to
NFL
10.
QB
And now
club,
let's send you to Chris Berman in our
2002.
studios in Bristol for the ESPN halftime
If you
report.
throw the furthest
Homer?
with Vic, you could throw 78 yards.
All right, Dan, we'll get back to you in a bit.
These are going to be some lowlights.
ESPN halftime show. I'm Chris Berman. Well, look at our numbers from the first 30 minutes, and one line that leaps out right away. Fourth down conversion. The Bears should be way ahead on the scoreboard, but somehow they've let their opponent hang with them. Let's see if they can change things. In the
Bad
second half.
decisions, big plays
Get
given up.
started in this one early in the first quarter. Charles
That
Ryder
play I
came up with a
blitzed.
big play as he was able to pull this one in. A 60-yard touchdown for the Lions.
And there were no safeties.
First and go up by 7. The Lions later on in the first, the ball at the 7-yard line. Joey Harrington would drop back.
You know, the
and
cool
put
thing
one
about
right
playing
on the
these
money.
games
A
is it brings
6-yard
me back to a
touchdown for the
time
Lions.
where
The Bears midway through the first.
one of the only
Bears
things I had to
trailing
care about
14. Michael Vick would find an
was
opening
watching
here, and he was
football
off.
games, playing football video games,
The Bears midway
and
through
others,
the first.
you know, of
Michael
course,
Vick
NBA,
would
other
find his
ones,
target
but
on this one. A 28-yard play
this was
that
right
set
in
up
the
a
era
rare
where I would just
touchdown.
sit down there
Bears
and
behind.
Sundays,
14-7.
Monday Night Football, I'd watch all the
Ryan
games.
Walker is reading the
The
quarterback's
pregame
eyes
shows.
all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. The Lions midway
They're
through
showing
the
every
second,
play
Lions
from the
with the ball at
first
the
half.
36. Joey Harrington would find his target on this one. That
Show
set
all
up
the
a
drops
30-yard
by the
field
Bears.
goal. The Bears still midway through the second. Bears down by 10. Michael Vick on the carry here as they work the ground game. This is a nice
You gotta
run.
work the ground game with Vic, you know?
The Bears again have it. Michael Vick let his big old offensive line pave the way on this one. That set up a 36-yard field goal. Bears losing 17-10. Michael Green was in the right place at the right time. As
Yeah,
his
that was
interception
dangerous. I don't know
a
why the
momentum
computer even
shifter.
did
And
that.
that's where we'll leave this one. Lions are holding on to a lead.
Okay, that's enough. Let's get this going.
The ref gets the signal, and we're set. Hansen kicks it, and the second half has now started. Azuma decides to take it out of the end zone. Tackled at the 22. Susie Culver is down on the field and has some information for us. Susie?
Thanks, Dan. Hey,
Booker's
Coach,
gotta
Steve
come
Brown
to it.
talked to me at the end of the half, and I asked him
There we go.
about it. He said that they've done a good job on offense despite the interception. He wants them to keep playing hard, avoid the mistakes, but keep trying to make plays in the second half. Back to you.
Susie, thank you.
Another grab
And
for
the
Booker.
catch is made well past the markers. for
Now
a
we're
first
now
down.
we're mounting
Booker
something
catches
here.
This one, and it's good for a gain of 10 on the play.
No, he's catching now.
Those are some impressive
Still has
numbers.
good
Look at
stats,
those
but
receiving yards.
he can show those drop stats.
Zips it to
Just
the left
engage.
sideline, and it's complete at the 40.
Andre Goodman finally gets to his man and hauls him out of bounds, but the damage is done.
There's the push. They've already got the first, so I think he was getting out maybe a little frustration.
Yeah, he was using the ball carrier as a human stress ball.
A beautiful pickup here and a bit of a collapse by the defense.
Push my own guy in the back.
They were caught off guard, Dan, and by the time they reacted, it was too late.
It will be first down. Jones will get the carry on first down and rambles for about
I'm
5.
having a bad season.
Down with the tight end right. Vic passes this one after the play action, and the catch is made well.
Coach gave Booker a talking to.
As a guy shadowing him, but still manages to make the catch. He beats his man cold. It's all about staking your turf.
The balls are coming his way in the middle, and he's making them pay. You have to like his
Booker did have for the Bears. He had a season where he had 100 receptions.
Make the catch.
Eventually runs out at
Michael Vick had no one to throw.
I still got Mike Brown. The only I traded 3 players:
If it wasn't for that scramble,
Peanut Tillman, Rex Grossman, and Anthony
you don't
Thomas.
see this out of just any old quarterback. 100-yard games are usually reserved for your starting running back.
Here we go. We're tying this one up.
in front of him, and he's in for the touchdown.
The penalties are not off.
Impressive yards in the ground here. Check it out.
But
Boy, that's
I mean,
some nice
come on,
running.
it's
all
a
about
video
feel.
game. How many
And if you can
penalties
see where you have room to roam,
you want?
good things happen.
Does the game want to call?
Touchdown will cut it close, Peter.
That was a big play.
But they are on.
Stay in the game.
I just don't commit them on defense. I'm not offsides. I don't do pass interference.
Good.
What's up, Chaos Retro Gaming? 3.0. You got a 1.0 and 2.0?
There's the signal, and we're ready.
Yeah, so basically the trade, I got Vic in the trade, a bottom of the barrel running back, and Allen Rossum cornerback, who's not good defensively, but he's at least got speed. Oh, it's showing the playoff race in game. That's pretty cool. The Bears and the Packers. Packers look like they won again.
Were intercepted last time
Green
out.
Magic
We'll
would
see
be
what
happy
happens
about
here.
that one.
We'll start at their own 20-yard line.
Oh, Briggs.
Intercepted.
There's a penalty for you. Face mask?
Face mask?
Yep, I saw that one.
Offense. Half the distance to the goal.
And the Lions doing what the Lions do. They blow games.
The Bears have an extremely short field
Not
ahead
worried.
of them.
Yeah,
as
the
they
Packers
restart
are a
this
team to
drive
worry about because they got
at the
Favre.
20-yard line.
Outrun those guys.
One man to beat.
Oh, I'm in.
Forced out at the one.
Jeez.
Michael Vick decided at the last moment to scramble back there, and it worked out.
This has been more of a rushing game.
Jones passes the football
I can't pop it in from the 1.
Lose about a yard here.
Marcus Bell targeted the ball carrier early. Didn't even let him get back to the line of scrimmage.
They
Run it
managed to
again.
hold them
Come
behind
on.
the line of scrimmage, but they have another shot at it coming up.
3rd and short. Let's see if they can come up with
There's
another
no
big
goal
save.
line. It's so weird on offense.
Johnson goes in motion.
There, I can't get in.
Gets stopped at the line, and that brings up 4th down.
All right. I don't get in. It's been one of those type of games.
David Terrell has this one in his hands, and then
Let's bring a blitz and see if we
They
get a
showed a lot of
safety.
guts going for it on 4th and goal there.
yeah, I guess, but that's no substitute for an effective offense. You got
The man grizzle that is Brett Favre.
The Lions offense takes the field, and can they capitalize on the defense?
And there it is. You gotta score points how you can get them. That might be my first safety of the season. Michael Haynes from Penn State.
Looking for that safety. And he gets it, pinning him in the end
Couldn't make
zone
the
for
tackle
2.
myself with Urlacher, but
That's his
pushed him
second tackle
backwards.
so far.
Nick Harris kicking off for the Lions.
Harris kicks this one away.
Allstott,
Azuma
he's
catches it
chilling
at
on the Bucks.
22.
Allstott was a thank you, John.
Well,
Allstott was a
Peterson,
fun
information up on the screen.
Oh, you bet.
running
Well,
back
they
to
turned the
watch
ball
because he's
over.
basically
And you have to think that
basically a
could come
power
back.
running back.
Turnovers are the most common stat in the NFL.
Vick rifles this one hard over the middle, and it's knocked away from the receiver. Incomplete.
The Allstott Warp Dunn combo. That was some thunder and lightning action. Yeah, he ran backwards like Barry in a bad situation.
One man to beat, no one in front of him. 40.
That's what you got to do. You take all your receivers, move them that way, and then if they're playing man versus man, Vick's got all day to run.
Michael Vick saw nothing happening, so he decides to scramble for it.
Bucks is your squad in 01, 2000 and 01. They had some teams.
Vick throws this one right
Ooh,
side,
another drop.
and they can't connect.
This time it's a new offender.
Back there in the zone waiting for this one, Dan. Check it out. Yep, he forced the incomplete pass. That's great coverage.
That had potential for some yards, Peter, but the defense was on top of it and shut it down.
Good denial there.
Second down coming up. Second down and 4 wideouts in the game. Chase down
Vick
at
just
the
picking up
20.
first
That'll
downs.
bring up first down.
Michael Vick chucked the playbook and improvised for a few. You know, like when I'll improv a catchphrase on the spot, something like, I don't know, can the yams, Martha? That was a doozy.
Move it back, Vic.
See if we can hit him. Got loft.
Throws this one right side.
Merritt.
And it's caught at the
Not another first and goal.
Reels in the pass despite nearly getting squeezed by
This
2
time.
defenders.
There's the catch and the double coverage. They really didn't phase him there.
Lining up.
Send in a third.
Yeah, there's really no goal line. Unless I'm missing something. If you guys watching know about how to get a goal line formation on offense, I would love to know. This is about the best I'm gonna get. There we go. Got it that time. The white Mike All-Star jersey.
Slicing through the D and picking up the yards.
That guy was trying to
I love to see
beast
fight like
back
that
in the
on
day.
shorter plays.
Peter, that will put a touchdown in his stat column.
And that's always nice to have.
And now the Lions are in trouble, down 2 scores. They're being up 14-0.
It's good.
Kicking off for the Bears.
The ref gets the signal.
And it is now Friday.
Edinger rockets this one deep.
Just gotta power through one more day for the weekend for me.
Bryson downs this in the end zone for a touchback.
to just play all night, finish the
Lions offense
season,
comes out and finds
not go to work
themselves
tomorrow.
losing for the first time in the game. This drive
Thanks, Adam.
will
I
start
appreciate
at
it.
their own 20-yard line. Hakeem goes in motion.
Made it interesting with some
Harrington
poor decisions early on, but so far, second half looking
Throws
a lot
into the
better.
crowd here, and by some miracle gets a completion out of it.
And Harrington showing that he's got some
There you
throws.
go. Well, the D had him covered, and they just couldn't get to the ball in time. A perfect pass.
Roy Williams, yeah, this is Charles Rogers and Roy Williams were both high draft picks.
Precise route.
Couple of the best. Bang. Charles Rogers had 3 guys covering him, but look what happened. As you can see, he's up over
There he is, Charles Rogers.
He came to play today.
Lions had a lot of high draft picks.
Harrington rifles it out left side, and it's tipped. Incomplete.
These guys are probably rated pretty good in this game, so they're able to
Prayer in getting that one.
Potential for some nice yards, but the defense plays it tough.
just roll the ball.
Second down. Williams.
It's a tackle. There we go.
That's good for a gain of 5.
That felt good.
Roy Williams made a superb catch, even though he had 3 guys closing in on him. What a play.
I'm sure
Third
he's
and
glad to
5.
finally make a completion, considering he's already dropped 2 today. Harrington
Oh,
gets
wow.
his arm into this pass.
I thought he was going to deflect that.
Roy Williams reels in the catch.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. Bears enjoying the lead,
Lions.
26
Oh, look at that. Shaking around. Wow, I didn't know they had that in this one. They're taking a page out of Tecmo's book.
Down! Set!
Picks up 6 on the play, and that will bring up second down.
Kevin Jones can thank his blockers.
Lions are moving the ball.
If it wasn't for them, that play would have tanked.
They move the ball, and it will be second down. Rodgers goes in motion.
56! Blue 56!
Big stop. Getting involved defensively with Urlacher in this one.
Ryan Urlacher made the save, dropping the ball carrier
It's
before
needed.
he could get to the markers.
That's his second tackle so far.
They'll probably go for the field goal.
Incomplete. Fourth down.
Make it one score.
Roy Williams could not make that
They will.
completion and would have had some room on the outside had he made it.
How can I beat my friend on Tecmo Bowl every time he plays with the 49ers?
This play was more proof.
Well,
Such a crucial down win.
if you're not going to tell him, like, look, dude, you're not good at the game if you use the 49ers every time.
Jason Hansen puts in an easy short one.
I would use the Oilers. The Oilers have really good pass defense. So you can use Richard Johnson in coverage, and then the other secondary guys will give you a good help. And then offensively, you have a great passing game as well. And since I'm sure you guys don't play with any sort of regulations, put Drew Hill at running back.
Was able to find some weak spots in the defense.
And bring in Curtis Duncan off the bench. And you still got some great receivers.
26-yard line. Vick rifles this one hard.
I thought that was an umpire. Referee.
Michael Vick threw an incomplete pass there. You know, maybe that's lucky since there were
So I gotta get a scoring drive going. Beat the Giants and defend with Gary Reasons. That's another option.
maybe next time it'll work.
Wilkinson.
It didn't work out too well.
Dan Wilkinson nails his man behind the line of scrimmage.
Been some ups and downs. Yeah, those are probably the best two options. Oh, he's open. Come on. Go all the way.
At the 43, 30, 20, 15, 5.
75-yard touchdown pass. Marty Booker rebounds in the second half.
Must have a cold or something because the
He's
defense
trying to
stayed
claim
away
his
from him on
receiver
this play.
title
He was
in
wide
game
open. Check it out.
15 of the
You know,
season.
you don't see a receiver get that open very often, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah,
Surprised the
quarterback was
computer
probably
players
in
didn't
shock.
die.
I'm glad he finally nabbed
Booker,
one because he's had a
193
string of
yards
missed catches
receiving.
before this.
Yeah, his quarterback obviously didn't lose faith in him, though, Dan, because he's kept throwing it his way.
Here's the point after, and it's good.
Really lighten up the scoreboard
The
now.
ref gets the signal, and we're set. Edinger booms up
See what the
beauty.
Lions are able to do here. There's
Bryson
still time for
pounds
them.
this in the end zone for a touchback. The Lions are down, but not out. They'll start this critical drive at their own.
Those are nice when you
20-yard
can
line.
break out a big one like that.
Fastball over the middle and is
And
well
their
past the
receivers have
numbers
been
for a
very
first down.
sure-handed. Williams with 8 catches himself. Ooh, that could have been a
Just
pick.
rifles this one, and it's tipped. Incomplete.
Sounds like my brother. He only played the 49ers, but he is not that good, so it's okay to me.
They have a really
Yeah, there's a
good
lot of
run
guys
for
like that
balls
out there.
team
Oh,
today.
be
That
the
is their
49ers.
fifth batted ball
They're
of the night.
beatable.
Aggressive D.
You just got to use the right teams. Use the right defensive players.
This one will fall incomplete.
Leon Joe was with the
But yeah,
receiver
I
all
would
the way
say
back there
the
on that
two
deep
things
corner route and interrupted
that
the pass.
we said,
On second down, they try for the
Oilers,
first,
and
but it's
then
played
with
well by
Richard
the
Johnson on
defense.
defense,
Third down.
Nice pressure.
or Giants with Gary Reeves, the linebacker,
Side, and it's off.
back in coverage.
Joey Harrington threw that ball to a
The
receiver.
thing is, LT is super fast and his interceptions are solid, but Gary Reeves has a 63 rating in interceptions. That's going to be key, especially if you stack up with double coverage.
Rodgers runs a post pattern there, and the pass comes his way, but he can't make the catch. You know, that should have worked in my opinion.
Peter, that seemed like an odd situation to go for it on fourth down. What do you think?
Well, it was very gutsy.
All right,
but
well,
maybe they should have used their heads. And
I'm not going to get too fancy. I'm going to try run some clock out here.
You know, guts.
Gutsy.
Digested.
Got it. The Bears are in control. They're far from over. The offense
You
comes
don't
out
want to
and
throw at
starts
Dave
this
Wayner.
drive at the
Ronnie Lott you
38-yard
could throw
line.
at,
Jones
especially with the
goes for his
Oilers.
8th carry and rambles for about 5.
With Vic on the team, Thomas Jones just hasn't got the carries he would have got if we still had Rex Grossman. It's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. I'm not trying to run the score on these boys. I'm just trying to get the win.
Not a lot of room on that play. It will be third down.
If you want to win in ESPN NFL 2K5, then trade for Michael Vick. This is regular Xbox. Yeah, this game was never on the Xbox 360.
Down from the line.
But Exposed God, good to see ya on the chat. Yeah, I'm playing in the season. I'm in the 15th game, so playoffs will be coming up shortly.
Third down. The clock is stopped at 2
The
minutes.
Bears is right. I don't think it's backwards compatible, but I could be wrong. Oh, 360? I don't know. Because I know, like, even the Xbox One, I mainly take the Eagles, then abuse with Q. Yeah, that's a lot of fun, too. You scramble around. It's just like scrambling around with Vic, pretty much. The Bears didn't suck this season. The The Grossman era wasn't too bad for the Bears, especially with the defense they had. Oh boy, another pick.
Breaks the tackle. No one in front of him.
Oh, I did not see him breaking that tackle.
Touchdown.
This is the type of game I gotta avoid playing in the playoffs. You need to stop drinking. What are you drinking?
Everything goes right here. The interception, the yards he gobbles up afterwards, and the icing on the cake, the touchdown, baby.
Went for it on 4th and I threw a pick 6. Now they'll get a chance for an onside, which I did lose an onside last game, which was controversial because the guy didn't really have it. I think you'd still play it on 360. It's so hard to find a copy of the game. I play competitive Madden every day, and EA said just sucking my life away. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They have a monopoly on the football games. Okay, so they got the onside kick. We got ourselves a game all of a sudden.
Getting in position and then making the grab. That's how you work on onside kick to perfection.
They opted for the onside, and in
I lost.
retrospect, it was a good decision.
Not last game, but the game before. Lost an onside kick.
It worked out beautifully.
The Lions will start this drive near midfield with the
Lions just won't go away.
Harrington zips it to the left sideline, and it's tipped.
So last game I pretty much played flawless on offense. This game,
Nice defensive play will give him his
at
second
least
down
3
and
picks
goal.
thrown, some turnovers on downs.
Down, 10 yards to go.
Alright, Joey Harrington, we need to keep doing that.
And it falls incomplete.
Todd McMillan broke up the
Crown Royal Apple, man. I'm drinking the hard stuff.
No catch, incomplete.
If complete,
Going
that
for
would
Crown
remain
Royal.
a bit short of
I haven't
third
had that
down
in a
lane,
while.
but the defense had other ideas.
Anticipation to the throw.
Oh, that was dangerous.
Made all the pieces fall into place.
Will they
Third
punt?
down coming up. Harrington throws a beauty to the right
No,
side.
they will not.
And they can't connect. Incomplete.
Down! Set!
Alright, come on, big stop here. There we go. Here's defense.
Are doubling the quarters. Makes his presence known on this one. He's going to haunt the ball carrier's dreams for a while. Oh, big tackle on fourth.
Does the computer get harder? No, it doesn't get harder in this. From game to game, though, it does seem like the computer does make adjustments. Because, like, early on in this one, the scrambling lanes were not there. They were contained quite well. Yeah, anyone who says it's the best football game ever made, I won't argue with them. I mean, it's because it holds up to even standard, you know, what we have now as far as presentation. I like Tecmo Super Bowl, but, you know, graphically it doesn't, or presentation-wise, by 2019 standards, it doesn't hold up, but this game holds up presentation-wise. And graphically, it's not bad either.
Third down. The clock is stopped at 1:17.
There we go, Booker.
This pass, and the catch is made for the first. The clock
Over
continues
200
to tick
yards
down.
receiving for Marty Booker.
Back there to his man, right past all that traffic. Good job.
He adds another completion.
He was
to his
dropping him in the
drive.
first half, but
He sets the ball
he's made up for it.
but I
See, they got
imagine he's happy with his consistent performance today. They'll take their sweet time getting this playoff, Dan.
They got some fast linemen because they're getting after it.
Running out of bounds wasn't the smartest thing by a long shot, Dan, but the coach will let them live to see another day because they can still run out the clock and win this one.
Break one.
Way out right and takes it up
The
field.
best run out of the backfield this game.
Continue to run. It'll be first and goal.
They get the first, and that will do it, Dan.
Actually,
Now just run out the clock.
First down.
ran the ball more with Jones than probably. Oh, nice cutback. Does a little hurdle. He did that automatically. I made the cutback, but he did the jump on his own.
That touchdown will stretch the lead, Peter, and it looks like they will walk away the winner here.
So finally I can say this one's in the books. But this one came down to the end.
Here's the extra point.
First one, 40-0 blowout. But 2 games in a row scoring 40.
And we're set.
It was not hard to trade for Vic at all. It actually happened on the first one. First offer, I traded Grossman, Peanut Tillman, and Anthony Thomas, the running back, which he was good because he was offensive rookie of the year, not at some point. And I already had Thomas Jones, which was faster and pretty much just as good. And then I traded for Vic, a low-tier running back, and Allen Rossum, who's a low-tier corner, but is fast. And that's all I had to trade for. I think they got good value. Tillman was like a 90-something. Grossman was in the mid-80s. And Anthony Thomas was in the mid-80s, too. So they definitely, overall, got better players. But, I mean, there's no replacement for Vic. On NBA Jam, we played with the Bulls. Good luck with that last-second shot. It's really only a thing against the Pistons, but there's a lot of wacky things that happen in NBA Jam, so there could be other programming, other things in the programming like that. But Mark Turmel, who's a fan of the Pistons, did remember and admit to that programming that if you're the Bulls against the Pistons late in the game, then they're going to brick some shots. But did a claim port that over is the question. That's probably, like, I'm guessing, unless they just, like, coded something directly over, that probably just an arcade candidate, I would think.
Bears will start this drive with unbelievable field position with the clock at 19. Jones gets the call on first down, and he's stopped. The clock continues to run.
Dan Wilkinson was a one-man wrecking crew back there. He powered into the backfield and made the tackle.
That's his second tackle so far. Johnson goes in motion.
Oh, got a few back. That's my first move to get Vic. The user's pretty crisp, like on your MLB. And do the Ravens got Lewis and Reed? Yes, they got both of them. Yeah, I was playing the first few games with the standard roster, and then I saw in the Sports Center recaps all these other teams making acquisitions, trades, free agent signings, and I wasn't really having fun playing with Grossman, so I'm like, let me try to trade for Vic. And first time's a charm. It's only I did make another trade actually. I traded for Cordell Stewart as a backup plan because the first game Vic got injured. And Cordell Stewart's much faster than he probably should be in this at this point in his career. In this presentation, authenticity with Chris Berman is why part of the reason why people say this is the best football game of all time.
The Lions, after a red zone stop, game tied 17-all. Michael Haynes breakthrough with a big play as he shot through the line.
There we go, big time safety. That was a good point in this game. Like I said, since YouTube Gaming is, at least the app and the website is gone, if you want to follow these live, you have to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You got to do all that. And it's pretty much all sports all the time. Once in a while, you know, we'll do something off sports, but not very often. is the player you're using, which were on your ML middle linebacker, early linebacker, pretty responsive, and do they pick the ball when you push the button? It's very responsive as far as tackling. I have not gotten down user picking the ball. I thought it was better in the Madden games of this era because I used to dominate with Urlacher with tackles and interceptions. This one, I've made a lot of deflections, but not interceptions. Once in a while, Castlevania I run through with green magic and lumberjack cracks. Vic is always a player of the game. There's no way to avoid it. Thanks, Exposed God. I appreciate that. So you'll see this game some more, at least a few more times while I finish the season, but you see a lot of Tecmo Super Bowl and a wide variety of sports games, a lot of NBA Jam as well. But we play everything. We had a college slam tournament back for March Madness, so we like to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and of course you'll see a lot of the favorites though. Okay, so that's the end of the game. And we're not going to do the Sports Center recap now. We'll start the next one with the Sports Center recap. There's only one game left in the season. No NFL Street. I'm not saying no NFL Street. Part of the hurdle for that one is I don't think I have NFL Street. NCAA football I could do. I have the one with Joey Harrington on the Ducks on the cover. Yeah, I do think this game, as far as everything that happens on the field, is more realistic. A little bit more realistic than Madden. Even though Madden looks great and it plays well, this one's probably a little bit more realistic. So do you guys want to see the Sports Center right now? Since we got Exposed God, he might want to see it. Packers are the last game of the season. Just crushing it. League leaders. And Carson. Oh, that's because he got injured. Vic's up there with yards, touchdowns. Oh, he's got 31 passing, so I guess that was his total touchdowns that it showed the graphic for. But rushing, Vic is now #1 in the league in rushing. 10 yards a carry. All right, have a great night, John. Okay, yeah, I guess we'll do this since it's not looking like anyone wants to see the Sports Center right now. We can save it for the beginning of the next one. Nothing going in the rookie watch. So, yeah, one more game, 11-4 in the standings. Let's see, the Vikings lost. They did not clinch the division title yet. So, who do they play? Do I still have a chance to win the division? Redskins 8-7 at Redskins. Maybe they could lose that. So we still have a chance for the #1 seed in the NFC. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. Everyone, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with some more retro sports games, and of course finishing out the season of ESPN NFL 2K5. Have a good night and take care.